Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome my Hadith disciples, YouTubers and viewers upon the Sunnah and Athar to another exclusive episode of F.M.F 5 Minutes of Faidah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Abu Umama al-Bahri radiallahu anhu narrated in the Sunnah of Abu Dawood that the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wa salam said, أنا زعيم ببيت في ربض الجنة لمن ترك المراء وإن كان محقا وبيت في وسط الجنة لمن ترك الكذب وإن كان مازحا وبيت في أعلى الجنة لمن حسن خلقه أو بهذا المعنى. I guarantee a house in paradise, which is in the Rabad, quote-unquote outskirts, one of the lower levels of Jannah, for the one, for the Muslim, for the man, for the woman, for the believer who stops arguing even if they are correct. And a house, a palace in the middle rank, the center of Jannah, for those who avoid lying even when they're joking. And a house in the highest level, the summit, the peak, the greatest level of Jannah, for those who perfect their character. In this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he tells us is that there will be Muslims who will go to Jannah, they will go to heaven, and they will have a guaranteed space, a guaranteed spot. They will have a mansion, a qasr, a bait, which is beautiful, which is luxurious, which everything they want and need is found in that place. For those who perform one of these three acts, let alone the happy, lucky, fortunate servant that can do all three of them. Number one, لِمَنْ تَرَكَ الْمِرَاءَ وَإِنْ كَانَ مُحِقًا, is he who avoids argumentation even when he's right. So most people, they can't stop arguing when they're wrong. Most of us, we can't stop arguing when the truth is partially with us and there are other valid points that our opponents have. And staying away from argumentation when you're right, even if you're right, number one, it's a manifestation of ultimate humility. And number two, it's a manifestation of sincerity. And number three, it's a manifestation of a person stifling and conquering his ego. And it ain't about me anymore. It's about the truth. I have the truth. This person is obstinate. They're stubborn. It's clear that they don't want to accept it. There's no point in arguing. As Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala was asked, Ar-rajulu yujadilu an sunnati. They asked him, they said, should a man argue and debate for the sunnah? And Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala, in this version, he said, La, walakinahu yukhbiru biha, fa in qubilat minhu ila sakata. He says, no. He tells the people about it. He gives them what he needs to give them. And if they take it and if not, then khalas. Keep silent, keep it moving. There's no point in argument. And that is when you have the truth with you, let alone when the truth is against you and you're fighting just for your nafs, just for your ego, just to prove your dominance, just to show the people that you're the most fluent, that you have the best Quran, the best Arabic, the best knowledge, that your race is superior, so on and so on and so forth. And number two, he says, لِمَنْ تَرَكَ الْكَذِبَ وَإِنْ كَانَ مَازِحًا, as for the one who stops lying even if he's joking. And the harms of lying, telling a white lie, even if you're joking around, even if to your children, to your husband, to your wife, it's just a harmless lie. It's not going to hurt or harm anybody. It's a big problem. People will lose trust, they lose respect, and when you do tell them the truth, they won't accept it from you. Let alone the fact that we look at our societies and the different holidays and the different religions and faiths in our Western communities, such as Christmas. Okay, you raise the child upon lies. You tell them that if they're good, Santa is going to reward them, and if they're naughty, Santa won't reward them. You tell them about reindeers. You tell them about this. You tell them about that. And what's the big deal? It's a cute, holiday. They get toys. They get to have fun, etc. But when a child grows up and the child reaches maturity, the child may ask himself, "Wow, how many other things do my parents lie to me about? Maybe my religion is a lie. Maybe God is a lie. Maybe paradise is a lie. Maybe what the people are saying is true, that religions were made up to keep the peasants and to keep the people under the obedience of the rulers and the aristocrats and the nobility." So one lie leads to other lies. It leads to lack of trust. It leads to lack of acceptance when a person is telling the truth. So the danger of lying, even when it's a joke and when you're laughing. And last but not least, he says, in a house in the highest level of Jannah, liman hasana khuluqahu, for those who perfect their character. And obviously the best of good character, the best of behavior, is that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran about the believers. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُم وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. Verse after verse, Quranic passage after Quranic passage, Allah talks about the chosen servants, the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're brave, they're strong, they're humble, they're generous, and they fear him.